dear students, and a very warm welcome to all of you in the second week of your quick revision sessions. In this today's session, we are going to see the entire lesson number 14, that is chemical effects of electric current. Now, if we talk about this content, that is chemical effects of electric current, first of all, anything is divided into two categories. Either it is a conductor or it is a non-conductor. That means any substance, whichever you are having, it is of two types. Either it is conductor or it is insulator. Now, what is the meaning of these two terms, conductor and insulator? Conductor means those things that will allow the flow of electricity to pass. An insulator, it will not allow electric current to flow through it. So, if it is allowing electric current to flow through it, then it is conductor. If it is not allowing, then it is insulator. Some substances, they allow electric current to pass through them, but in a very rare amount, and they are insulators. That is, they are poor conductor of electricity. Most of the substances allow electric current to pass through them under certain conditions. So instead of using the terms conductors and insulators, we use the term good conductors and poor conductors. They do not, some allow and some do not allow. Now, testing the conduction of electricity through liquids. Now, with the help of liquids, we can check whether any substance will allow the flow of electric current to pass through it or not. For that, what is to be done? Here, we can put any of the substance and we can check whether it will allow the flow of electric current to go through it or not. If it will allow the flow of electricity, then it is a conductor, and if it does not allow, then it is a non-conductor. If we see, then there are some of the conclusions that um, pure water is non-conductor of electricity. Pure, or you can say the distilled water. salty water is conductor of electricity. So this is important thing, and if you keep any of the conductor over here, if you keep any conductor over here, then this is for the substance. But what if we want to check for any liquid? If I want to check whether liquid that is pure water will allow the flow of current or not, like this is for any substance, this is how you check. But what about for liquids? For liquids we have a different arrangement. What is the arrangement? The arrangement for the liquids is somewhat something like this. Here I'll do it. We are taking a beaker, and the beaker, whichever liquid you want to check, that is to be filled. Two electrodes are kept. Here is the battery and here is the bulb. If the bulb will ignite, then this is conductor, and if the bulb does not ignite, then this is non-conductor. So this is how for the liquids we can check whether any substance will conduct electricity or not. Any liquid. For substance, that is for any solid, this is the arrangement. For the liquids, this is the arrangement. So this is how you can check. And in the same way, if the activity comes, then you have to write properly the aim, apparatus, that is which are the things required, the procedure, that is what you are doing, you are taking the liquid. You have to try to write it in the own words. Okay, one demo I am giving you of this, and after that it will be very much clear to you. Suppose if you are writing this experiment, that is you have to check whether any substance will allow the flow of electric current or not. That is, you are having a chalk stick, and you are having a pencil, you are having a rubber, and you are having wood, and you are having a wire, copper rod. Then which of the following, one by one, you have to check. Then how can you write? First of all, you have to write the aim. That is to check whether the substance will allow the flow of electric current or through it or not. Apparatus needed, then whatever things which are to be checked, that are to be written. Along with that, you have to write the switch, the battery, uh, the bulb, and the nichrome wire, or you can write copper wire to connect the entire circuit. Then you have to write, as shown in the figure, arrange the apparatus. That is the bulb, the battery, the key, and keep the space between A and B. Now one by one put all the substances in this place A and B and note down your observation. In the observation table, note down all the things whichever you are keeping it over here one by one in the table, and just write the bulb glows, yes or not. What can you conclude? We can check whether any substance is allowing the flow of electric current or not. The same way, if you want to check for the liquids, then this is the arrangement. For what is the arrangement for the liquids as shown in the figure? In a beaker, take about, first of all, you have to write the aim. Aim is to check whether the liquid will allow the flow of electric current or not. Apparatus needed, the fluid, the two electrodes, bulb, and the battery, and as well as wire and switch. Then next, as shown in the figure, put the fluid in the electrolytic chamber and arrange the two electrodes as shown in the figure. The next is uh, connect the two electrodes to the wire, and one with it connect the battery and the bulb as shown in the figure. Then allow the current to pass through it. If the bulb will glow, then it is a good conductor, and if the bulb does not glow, then it is a bad conductor. That is what comes into the conclusion. Observation table. Observation. If the bulb is glowing, then you have to write that we observed that the bulb glows. If the bulb is not glowing, then you have to write the bulb does not glows. This is how very simply you can check the entire thing. There are a few of the basic definitions which are very easy. expecting that you'll be able to read it on your own. And this is about it. First of all, note down these things, and after that, we'll move further. And this, the the liquid that allows the electric current to flow through it, that is called as electrolyte. Okay, so this is about it entirely. Then we will check what are the devices which are used for checking whether the other ways to check whether the current will flow through it or not. There are few, we will go through it, and after that we will move further on the next particular topic, that is the chemical effects of electric current. In that, you are having about the chemical effect of electric current. We have done it practically, and we will also go through it as well as its uses. But before we move further, you have to note down this content. Quick, note it down, then we'll move further. Quickly note the entire thing. So I hope, my dear ones, you have noted it down. Now, what are we going to see? We are going to see that which substances are used for checking about the flow of electric current. Yes, there are many ways by which we can check. Among them, the very another one is for checking is LED. What is LED? LED means light emitting diode. They are present in many different colors. Red, blue, you might have seen. And these are specially for weak electric currents. If any substance is allowing the electric flow of electric current or not. If we want to check it, then sometimes there is a problem with the bulb. Bulb does not glow even if the liquid is containing the salt, that is in the case of electrolyte. This is because weak current flowing through the liquid. So the current is too weak that the filament will not get heated, and uh, that is the amount of temperature that is needed to glow the bulb is not given to the filament. Then what will happen? The bulb will not glow. What does that mean? The flow of electric current is not there. So how can we find out the option? The option is this, that is LED. Light emitting diode. What it is? It is a semiconductor device. Remember, always, it is a semiconductor, means not totally conductor. So it will detect the weak electric currents. You are knowing that it is looking somewhat something like this. It has one big leg and one small leg. Okay, this you are already knowing. Now the bigger leg over here, it is one lead that is slightly longer than the another one. It has two leads connected with it. Okay, the bigger lead will act as positive terminal. The smaller lead acts as negative terminal. LEDs are generally these days used a lot for lighting purpose, and this it acts as the negative terminal. That means the negative terminal of the battery should be connected with it. They are available in many different colors, like red, green, yellow, blue. Many colors are available. Okay, so it acts like that. You might have seen LED in It is consuming very much less energy and as compared to light bulbs, and more durable than light bulbs and fluorescent tubes. And they are used in torch, traffic lights, decorative lights. Even if you see, this is, I hope it's visible, the small red spot over here, that is what? It's because of the presence of LED over here. Another way to detect weak electric current is the magnetic compass. Now, what is this magnetic compass and how it works? So, for that, what you have to do, you have to take a box. In that box, you have to place the magnetic needle, and around that, you have to wrap the wire. When the electric current flows and if the needle deflects, then you can say that uh, the in the magnetic compass, if this magnetic needle, if it is deflecting, then you can say that the electric current is flowing through the wire. Otherwise, the electric current is not flowing through the wire. And this is because on the basis of the magnetic effect of electric current. And when you'll go in your class 10, you are going to study one entire lesson on this, that is magnetic effects of electric current. जब भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्लो होती है तो उसके आजू बाजू क्या प्रोड्यूस होता है? मैग्नेटिक फील्ड. आर यू शॉक्ड? You might not be, because this is a very common thing. In your lower standards also you have studied about it. Okay, when the electric current is flowing through anything, then flowing through a wire, it is producing magnetic field around it. This is one very important point regarding the magnetic field. And magnetic detector, this is how we can make it. So this is how uh, magnetic field is used for many things like lemon juice, vinegar, tap water, cooking oil, milk, honey, water that is containing very small proportion of any of the acids. And check, we cannot check it using bulb, but yes, by using LEDs or by using magnetic compass, we can easily check whether the current is flowing through them or not. So in case to check for the weak electric currents, these are the ways. Note it down. After that, we'll move on the topic, that is chemical effects of electric current. We have discussed that content even practically. I hope you remember, that is the magnetic effects of electric current. Then magnetic effects of electric current and electroplating. These are the two topics which are left out. Note it down, then we'll move further. Very quickly do it. So I hope you have noted down this content also. Now we'll move further on the next part, that is the chemical effects of electric current. The name of the lesson is now starting. Heating effects of electric current you have studied in your lower standards. Now you are studying chemical effects, and when you'll go in class 12, you will study about the magnetic effects of electric current. Now chemical effects of electric current. The name of the lesson. Here there are just two very important basic activities which I am going to like make you learn. You have to be over here and its uses. First of all, the very first part, electrolysis of electric current. Next is electroplating. These are two very important uses of electric current. Then further uses are there which you have to cram. If we talk about the electrolysis of water, then how it is being done. Try to recall, we have also done the practicals of it, that is the electrolysis of water. How we have done the practicals? We had taken an electrolytic chamber. In that electrolytic chamber, before arranging the two electrodes, we had filled it with water. You can put any solution here. We are, because it is electrolysis of water, we'll do electrolysis of water. For kind information, electrolysis of many things are possible. Okay. And there are two electrodes which are kept over here. Even we had done it on the pencil. With both the electrodes, we are putting a battery over here. And we are joining them. Once you allow the electric current to flow through it, what will happen? Water that is present over here, H2O, it will get dissociated, that is, it will get split up into two parts. 2H2O, it will give you 2H2 plus O2, that is, you get two different gases, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, hydrogen and oxygen, this is how they are produced. So the bubbles of the gases are seen. The hydrogen is generally seen at the negative end, that is at cathode. Here at cathode, formation of hydrogen takes place. The bubbles can be seen over here beside. While at anode, this is the positive terminal. Here, formation of O2 takes place. What is this? Water. That is electrolyte. This is electrode. This is battery. This is conducting wire. This is electrolytic chamber. This is water. How to properly note down this. Okay. Many times you can see that the color is also changing. It is depending on which type of liquid you are using. Chemical effects of electric current, it depends upon the type of the solution, and one of the very common application of it is this, which is electroplating. Now, what is electroplating? Electroplating means by using electricity, whatever we desire, that metal we are depositing on the another metal. Okay, many times you might have heard कि चांदी नु पानी चढ़ावी दीधु, सोना नु पानी चढ़ावी दीधु. What is this? क्या वो पानी में भिगो के वो डाल देते हैं? No, it's not like that. That is the process of electroplating. That is The process in which the desired metal can be deposited on the another metal, or the one which is very, you can say, costlier metal can be deposited on a cheaper metal. What is the process over here? That also we have done practically. What happens over here? Take a beaker. Fill it with the electrolyte. We are filling it with electrolyte. And electrolyte is which, first of all? Suppose this is iron plate. I want to deposit copper on it. The one which you want to deposit, जिसको deposit करना है, that is taken as anode. जिसके ऊपर deposit करना है, that is taken as cathode. जो deposit करना है उसी का solution लेने का, and that is, if I want to deposit copper, it is CuSO4. If I wish to deposit iron, it would have been FeSO4. This is electrolyte. This is electrolytic chamber. Then what happens over here? Once you allow the electric current to flow through it, first of all this anode will get dissolved. What will happen? It will get dissolved. Once it gets dissolved, what will happen? It will, and moreover over here, this electrolyte will get splitted up as Cu plus 2 ion and SO4 to negative ion. What will happen now? All the Cu plus 2 ion will go and migrate towards the cathode. And very slowly, entire iron rod will get deposited by copper. Then what will you see? The weight of the anode is decreasing while that of the cathode is increasing. What is happening at anode? At anode, copper gets oxidized as Cu plus 2 electron. This is at anode. At cathode, what is happening? The Cu plus 2 is receiving 2 electrons and it is getting converted into Cu, that is happening at cathode. While SO4 to negative ion, उसका oxidation होता है नहीं. Its oxidation or reduction, nothing is getting carried out. It is not receiving any extra electrons. Okay, this is about the entire lesson. Entire part. Okay, draw these two diagrams very quickly. The diagrams are just understand it by the diagrams. Diagram draw karo and try to write the entire answer on your own. I've done nothing but except diagram, and these are the base of the chemistry. Note it down, both the diagrams, very quickly. So I hope you have noted it down. With this, the entire lesson gets over, and in our next lecture, we are going to meet with lesson number 15. Till that time, keep revising. That's all. Thank you so much for listening to me, and a very good day. Bye bye.